what do you think we should talk about today, huh? Should we do some kipping pull-up work? What do you reckon? Maybe do a workout as well? Yeah? Do you want to do some squats? Maybe some cardio? Do you want to do cardio? How about some sit-ups? Yeah, you want to do sit-ups too? Is that right? You want to do sit-ups as well, huh? Is that what you're thinking? Ow. What's up, rock stars? Ben Lai here, Rockstar Fitness. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the RSF Strength and Conditioning Facility. What we're looking at today is kipping pull-ups. Now, I know there's a whole heap of hatred, especially online, about kipping pull-ups, butterfly pull-ups, that whole gymnastic sort of movement. But in all honesty, it's just a different type of pull-up. You have your strict pull-ups, you have your supinated and pronated grip pull-ups, you have your neutral grip pull-ups, you have your L-sit pull-ups, you have your kipping pull-ups, you have your butterfly pull-ups. There's just so many different types of pull-ups, all with their different purposes and outcomes. So, for example, let's say I had 100 meters to travel and I wanted to use a method that would stimulate the greatest amount of strength and growth. I would probably travel that 100 meters using a walking lunge. Now, let's say I wanted to travel that 100 meters, but I wanted to increase my work capacity, my work output, and I wanted it to take on more of an aerobic sort of feel. I would probably sprint that 100 meters. Same sort of movements, same sort of muscle stimulation, both with different type of purposes. The same can be said for a pull-up or a kipping pull-up. So what we're looking at today is we're going to the way that I like to teach my athletes how to do a kipping pull-up, and also ways that you can practice at home going through those stages in the event that you wanted to put in a workout and go quite quickly, or you wanted to increase that work output. All right, let's have a look. All right, so before I get any athletes sort of worried about hanging from a bar or having to hold themselves up, what I like to do is I like to set up a barbell on the rig and get them feeling what the movement should start to feel like, that rhythm. We want to get that biomechanical purpose in place first. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the barbell. I'm going to have my feet on the ground, so my feet are doing all the work. My legs are going to support my body weight. I'm going to have that one thumb with outside my shoulders, and I'm going to start them in that finishing position, so my chin above the bar. Once we're in this position, all I'm going to get them to do is bench press off, so push off and away from the bar. When we get to this position here, you should feel a lot of tension in the shoulders. I want those shoulders to stay quite tight. I don't want them to sag and go into this position here. Active shoulders is a critical movement or a critical component of the kipping pull-up. A lot of the hate that stimulates online is because they think that there's a lot of hanging from the shoulders and you're going to wreck your shoulders. That is true if you aren't maintaining a nice active scapula in your back. So, push off the bar, shoulders on. Once I'm here, I'm going to go through the arc underneath the bar, supporting my body weight on my feet. I'm going to push my head through onto my knees, and then I'm going to rock back, and I'm going to return back to that position I was in before. So I'm maintaining that nice, active, tight shoulder. You'll feel the tension in your shoulders as you pull back. Once I'm at this angle here, I'm just going to pull my elbows in like a high rope. I'm going to go into the bar. Once I'm here, I'm going to push back. Feel the tension in my shoulders, come back through again. All the way through, rock back, tension on the shoulders, pull in, push off, come through again. And that's the rhythm that we want to maintain. That would be the first step that I start to practice, getting that push off, not push down. Once you start to master that, then we start to move on to a bar. Again, keeping your weight supported, but working through that rhythm. All right, rock stars, what we're looking at next is taking what we just learnt on the barbell and standing on the ground and putting it into place on a higher bar with a little box. The reason why I put a little box underneath you is because I want a slight period of weightlessness. Getting used to holding yourself on the bar, returning into that swing, coming back up and using your legs to pull yourself up. We're working more on the technique, so I don't want you worrying too much about the strength of having to pull yourself up just yet. Now, for those athletes that are just starting and may not have much upper body strength, this component here, this movement phase here, might be what you call home for a little while. It'll allow you to get through the workout and do the high rep range sort of movements while stimulating that muscle strength, while at the same time not worrying about having to hang from a bar with a band and struggle to get 2 or 3 reps out. Learn the rhythm first, and then we'll progress you onto the bands. So what we're going to do, we're going to stand up on the box. I'm going to place my hands, that thumb width outside my shoulders. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to bend my knees, supporting my weight on my feet, but I'm going to keep my shoulders on. Now I'm going to start the movement by rocking forwards like you did before, underneath that bar. I'm going to rock back. I'm going to feel that tension in my shoulders. When you get to this position here, all you're going to do is you're going to jump off your feet and pull your elbows in, and then return to the box. Easy, right? So your movement is rock forward, rock back, tension's on, jump and pull. Rock forward, rock back, pull. And we're going to get to that push away and return to the box. Push away, return to the box. So my legs are doing a lot of the work. My arms are doing maybe 30% of the work. But I'm looking for that shoulder action, that roll through, roll back, keeping tight shoulders, and that pull in. This might be where you call home. Practice this. Once you start to master this, we move you on to the bands. All right, rock stars, we're moving on to that next phase. What we're doing now is we're going to use a bit of an assistance band to help support your body weight, but I want you starting to now feel what it's like to pull your own body weight whilst moving through those rhythm movements that we practiced earlier. We're going to use a box to get up onto that bar. Now, the thing about using a band, and with a lot of the times when people try to teach a kipping pull-up, is they get too caught up with what the feet are doing, that kick forward, kick back sort of motion. Don't worry about the feet. The more you worry about the feet, the more you're going to break at your hips, and you're going to go into these L positions, or you're going to bend your knees at the back, and you're going to throw your whole rhythm out. The feet will look after themselves. What I want you to do is maintain a nice tight midsection, so you're always in this hollow hold position. If I had you lying on the floor on your back, you'd be holding this hollow hold. The flip side of that is if I had you lying on your stomach, I'd get you into a Superman position, so you'd be in this high arch position. Those are the only 2 movements that you want to stay in underneath this bar. You have a cone of movement, and my feet don't want to go any higher than this cone of movement here. I don't want them breaking up here or back here. Now, when going into the band, place your little box off to the side. A lot of people put it straight underneath you. When you're up there, you want to place the foot that's away from the box in the band first. The reason why you do that is for a safety point of view. If you get tired and you need to step off the box, you can just place that open leg onto the box. If you've got your opposite foot in it, you're trying to pull it behind you and put it on the box and you're twisting, it's just so much easier and so much safer if you just step straight across. Now I'm going to place my foot in the band. I'm going to hold the bands up nice and high, pull them down, place my foot into the band, and I'm going to push straight down. Now I'm going to keep that high hold position, that hollow position that we just talked about. I'm going to go into my hand grip, thumbs under the bar, and I'm going to place that foot over the top. If I get tired, step onto the box, bring my knee up. Easy. Now, what we're going to practice first is that strict pull-up, that push away, and that head through. That's the only 2 movements that I want to practice. So leg over the top, shoulders on, pull up, push away, head through. That's all I want. Pull up, push away, head through. That's all I want to practice to start. All right? So strict pull up, push away from the bar, come through, and tight. That's all we want. All right, let's try that. All right, rock stars, we're now progressing into the next step. So you've worked on that strict pull, that push away, that head through. Now, as you come back, all I'm going to do is going to pull my shoulders down and pull my hands down like I'm arcing, like a pull down. All right, I'm going to keep my arms pretty rigid, and I'm going to pull my shoulders in, curling that midsection. That there returns us to that position that we practiced on the bar. So strict pull up, push away, head through, pull back through my shoulders and lats to this high position here. That's where we want to stay. You'll have that moment where you're tight, and then we're going to rest. So I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to go feet into the band, hands on top, leg over the top, shoulders on. Now I'm going to pull up, push away, head through, and there. You can see that pull through with that position there. So again, I'm going to pull straight up, push away, head through, and tight. Now at that position there, you'll have a moment of weightlessness. You'll be like, oh geez, I feel quite light back here. There's no weight on me. That position there is when you pull in. All right, so practice that position first. Do say 4 or 5, where you leg over the top, pull up, push, head through, tight. Okay, and stop. Try again. Pull up, push off, head through, and tight. Do that 3, 4, 5 times. Once you're at that position where you feel quite light, that's when we're going to do that high row that we practiced on the barbell down here. Pull into the bar and relax. Once you're at the bar, you just repeat the steps again. Push out, arc through, back up again. Everything we just practiced on the bar. Now, if you're having a hard time getting to that position or remembering the steps of the push out, go to the weightlessness step, pull in, and then stop. So let's say we wanted to regress a little bit. Leg over the top, pull up, push, head through, pull in. That's 1. Now, when you feel that weightlessness, pull that chin to the bar. Pull up, push off, head through, pull in, pull. All I did was pull that chin into the bar. Pull up, push off, head through, pull in, pull. Now, once I'm at the top, replay those steps. Push off, arc through, arc up, and in. So it'll look like this. Tight shoulders, pull up, push, head through, arc, push, and away. And then all that's going to happen is you're maintaining that nice tight shoulder. My hips are staying nice and tight. And all I'm doing is remembering steps 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just replaying those steps over and over and over again. Again, if you're starting to find that quite hard and it takes you a little while to learn that rhythm, this is where you call home. Give you a nice thick band, work through the motion so you can increase that work output and get your workout done. All right, rock stars, fast forwarding now a few weeks and you've conquered the band work. You're now moving onto an unassisted kipping pull-up. Now, the golden rule of this, like you've practiced through all the stages until you got to this point here, is that active shoulder, that hollow hold position in the midsection, and that tight Superman position in the back. Those are your 2 golden rules at the bottom, and those shoulders must always stay on, otherwise you're going to go to an inactive shoulder, and that's when you're going to start to feel that pain in the shoulder. And that's the thing that most people have a gripe with regards to these gymnastics movements. Now, all you're going to do is you're going to start at the bottom. I like to start the movement off with a strict pull-up. If you can't do the strict pull-up, start with that Superman swing through into the hollow hold, which is the head through the shoulders, whip back. That'll give you a little bit of momentum to get up there. Now, when you first start learning the kipping pull-up unassisted, you might only be able to do 1, 2, maybe 3 reps at a time. That's fine. It's all about those baby steps. You remember where you first started, all the way back at a barbell on a rig. That's where you first started. Now you're here. So little steps, don't get frustrated with it. It will take a little bit of time. Just remember your golden rules. Active shoulder, hollow hold, Superman position, feet together. I like gymnastics movements to be quite tight because I feel like it's directed force. So I'm going to go up on my box, hands outside, and I'm going to go to that hanging position. Shoulders down, nice active shoulder. First thing I'm going to do is pull up, I'm tight, push off, head through and pull. And then we're off and running. Easy, nice and light, easy sets. When I'm done, drop down, dismount. Easy. So take your time with it, work through the stages and the steps. You will get it. It's one of those frustrating movements initially, but just remember, it's just a pull up and everybody's got to start somewhere. All right, let's do it.